got it! Gypsy Goddess! Mystic aroma balsam from Checkers, I'm superior.
Show on the road because Lordy's got places to be apparently, Ben.
Oh yeah, he does do this.
Oh, it's no rush.
Always a rush, mate, when
Always a
it's
rush.
Nick Void's show. Mugs, welcome. Big weekend in sport. We were just talking there. Mugs, before we come on fair, what a great time to be a Queenslander. Friday night, Broncos, fins up. William Reid Stakes is on there apparently as well. But, well, footy's back, boys. We're not a footy podcast, so don't worry, we're not going to be throwing out any tips.
No.
Because we probably would have tipped the Dolphins to win 3 from 3.
Probably not.
But we're here to tip Group 1 winners and Eagle Farm winners,
Yes.
which
Most importantly.
we're delivering, okay? I can only speak on behalf of myself, but I'm assuming that you two boys have been nailing it there as well.
Did we catch Animo? Is that it?
Animo, good win.
Mr. Brightside? Do
Mr.
we do
Brightside?
the All-Star Mile?
Yeah, we
last
did.
week?
Yeah, we did the All-Star.
We did do
Mile.
the All-Star Mile, but fortunately it's not a Group 1 race.
He makes all the rules and goes on. Doesn't he
Hey.
feel communist even though the tip comes through 2 hours before the All-Star Mile doesn't
Mate,
count? Oh,
We've got to be
Yeah.
transparent, alright? We don't want to be one of those tipping mobs that talk about all their results and then never display them. You know,
That's right.
they're there. The mugs are out there for all to see in here.
Unbelievable.
Well, look, if you boys want a chance for redemption, it can start Friday night. William Reid Stakes, we might jump this off early because that way if people are listening to this at 7 p.m. on a Friday night and they go, shit, what time's the William Reid? We can get some bets on. But stacked field, the big question is this Benedetta, who's just created all the Chris Waller chat on where are they going to go? Is it a Group 1 Friday night or is it down the straight with a clash potentially with What You Need?
Yes.
That's the $1 million question. It's a $1 million race,
It
I'm
is.
assuming.
It is a $1 million race. I was actually going to back Benedetta all in when I saw she was nominated for the William Reid at about $12, and then I thought it's a little bit awkward if they don't go there. So I haven't. She's $7 now, so that's good.
Still might not go there though.
Exactly, that's right. In the Congo I'm pretty keen on here. Not usually one of mine, but I've liked his trials. He's been scratched from the Challenge Stakes, scratched from the Galaxy, and now pops up here, draws barrier 1. Tim Clark goes down to ride him. He's had 3 barrier trials. Last time we saw him, ran second to Valana in the Hunter. I think that's pretty good form. Beat Apache Chase home that day. Mooney Valley will be his track. Gay Waterhouse there, Adrian Bott there going all right. He's sort of got that sense of timing, I think, even though it's first up.
In the Congo.
I'm going to Kiwi. Babylon Berlin for me. Taking on Imperatriz, the fellow Kiwi. It was well beaten by Imperatriz. I think it was a couple of starts back over the ditch. I think it was by about 4.5 lengths or something like that. That was over the 1400, which I just don't think is that suits this particular horse. Then over the 1200, it was beaten by Imperatriz again, but that was by 0.2 of a length. So I think clearly this is pet trip here. Concern is obviously in the Congo takes off and they take each other on, and Nick and I bash each other up front, and then whatever's camped in behind us runs straight by. So either one of us has the winner here, or we're both going to probably finish second last and last. I just think from the gate she's overs, and the key change here is Blake Shin. I reckon he's the best rider at Mooney Valley, to be honest. I think he's a genius at Mooney Valley.
Does
Stats bingo, bang.
Does the fact that Babylon Berlin in two previous Australian runs, she was beaten by Baller, Wonderbar, Ridden Beauty, Tahitian Dancer, does that worry you?
No, not concerned.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think they're all pretty. That's all pretty good form. I know it's probably not quite up to this grade, but I think Barry is here. I think the track suits her better. Yeah.
I just did my last on June 10,000.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, the Kiwi form's really measuring up this autumn, I find. You usually get this every year where they bring a bit of a team over and none of them really perform, but you've got Legato that's measured up, Imperatriz beating the lip, starts favourite in this race.
Yep. Prowess is in
Saturday?
Saturday, 40 or something like that.
2 more Group 1 winners in the next 2 or 3 weeks as well.
Tell you another Group 1 winner at the Valley that is already a Group 1 winner at the Valley, Ballanipatina.
Yep.
And my good friend Nick Lloyd and I having a little who you on chat yesterday, and I was shocked that this thing was $18, which is now into tens.
Money
So
talks. You got
Someone
that,
must
you
have
got
heard.
that $1,000 deposit match, and you've had the 1,000 on,
Well,
haven't you?
it's just sitting in the account ready to figure out what to do with. But I haven't got the early price, but I couldn't believe the price.
Yeah.
She did go up. I think she, look, albeit not a bad run last start there in the new market, but just a bit of a Mooney Valley horse. I think Bella Nipotina. After she won the Manicato, pretty sure what started $5 or $6 in that market in the Darley, which you've got Nature Strip in there, you've got some real big dogs. First up this prep, third behind Cool and Gatter and I Wish I Win, which doesn't look too bad on the pager as well.
No.
Probably questioning that form line a little bit maybe though. The Lightning,
Yeah.
maybe. No.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Anyway,
There's
that's the Group 1. There's a heap of value in this race if you're looking
well,
outside.
we were both the
comparative,
same
aren't you?
when we were talking. Like I sort of went, oh, in the Congo's gone up $14. I've missed that, and then looked back half an hour later and it was into $7 or $7.50. And Bella's the same. There's another one or two in Sydney as well that are the same boat, which is a little bit disappointing. We'll get to that in a moment.
Rockin' Horse is still huge odds though if you want to take that again.
It just shouldn't be those odds.
Yeah,
Like
it should
I know that people but you pot it all the time. But it's like I know it's maybe not a Valley horse, but it should not be $46.
Yeah,
The
but
horse
at the
is
same
beaten.
time,
There's no way.
Mate, as the cricketers say, mate, runs on the board with the Rockin' Horse, hey?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I just think if they go ballistic out in front and it gets the right run from barrier sort of 9 or whatever, I think it can be right in finish. Anyway, it'd be an interesting race.
We're getting him hot and heated
She's
already,
only won
mate.
3 races in the last 2 years. I know two of
Two of
them.
them are group
But
ones.
fell in down the straight at Flemington every other
That's what
time.
we're going to do, mate.
Like 10th.
How many's in the Congo one in 2 years?
I don't
This will
know.
get him. This will get him.
Probably fucking
Probably
zero.
one.
1, 2, 3.
Two group ones. Who cares how many?
That's right. It's heated. I'll tell you, these peak gin tax is absolutely skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Had a few back on the weekend, but
Yeah.
needed more.
Yeah.
But boys, last week, the world famous Gold Coast Cutest Jewel meeting at Doomben, the Doomben Jewel as they call it, it was the favourites double. The Mashanis took the spoils and then all that pizzazz. So both of them went pretty huge
Yes.
there on Saturday. Players in the Winter Carnival, either of those two? You probably got 1,200 metres. JJ Atkins probably out of the question for the 2-year-olds, you'd think.
Yeah, I should probably. Yeah, I probably can't have anything in that 2-year-old race, but all that pizzazz.
It was pretty impressive through the line and stuff. To be honest.
I would reckon that a Fred Best would probably be like grand final, and if they managed to win and get into the Stradbroke, then they'd back up. But I'd reckon it'd be all systems go to a Fred Best Classic for them and see how they go, because it was a good win.
Yeah.
And this week we're back at the farm, back
Was
at the
there any other
headquarters.
jockeys there on Saturday, or was it just Ben Thompson
Just Ben
racing
Thompson.
against horses without
without
jockeys on
others.
top?
And then he thought, you know what, everyone else,
He just let one get past him again.
yeah. And then yesterday he
Nuts.
thought they can't beat me. I'll just jump off this
Yeah.
one at the start.
If you're on Beans Bazinga, yes, Cronenberg actually did cross the line first. The problem was, however, Ben Thompson wasn't still aboard at that particular point in time. So
It's still,
unfortunately-
Slight issues.
I think that's still
yeah,
counts.
I'm not sure if
That's
I'm
right.
not sure if they paid or anything like that, but
It's
the
in the-
ROI
it's in
is
the
a win.
spreadsheet, isn't it?
Yeah, it is in the spreadsheet.
Well, that's why they love the mugs, mate, because we'll forgive you in Canada's the win. It's the bookies, mate.
Yeah.
They take your money. They don't see it like we do. So yeah, it's a bit of a it was a shame for not only all of us punters on it, but remember that horse had a bit of spruik its first sort of prep up here with Golan. So it was pretty looking forward to see how it went.
It was like 9s in the 350.
Yeah. And you wouldn't almost isotope Magic Millions again, mate.
Money stays in the bag.
Stays in the bag. But look, that's Friday night done, boys. Race is sort of 1 to 4 at Eagle Farm. I've sort of said it's an easy card to tip because I've just been tipping guru the last couple of weeks. But if we sort of go through those first 4 races, shout out if anything sort of gets beat here. But Felix the Scat was huge, and because it's a Holbert runner, they'll give you a better price. Yeah. Santiro, we're all still on board that fan club. The Red Kite, still determining whether we're on board that fan club. And Fearless Knight, who has some pretty good form on the board with Sir Carter form.
Yeah.
So, first 4 races, I'm leaning favourite way for most of them. But anything else that you've seen?
What's the market there in race 4? Fearless Knight, 310.
$3.
Sharp Goma, 320. I'd probably lean
Shah of Goma is in another race on the card.
Scratch,
Okay, well,
I
that's
think.
where they're going then, race
Yeah.
4.
I just think Sheriff Goma, he was a little bit of a cat early on because he just couldn't quite get the wins on the board. But then you look at who he was behind. It was second to Valencia at Doomben that day, third in the Gold Coast Magic Millions made, and I think now I can't remember if it's 7 or 9 subsequent winners out of that. A couple of like dual winners, including
Belair's been
Belair,
massive
who won at
every
Mooney
start.
Valley on Saturday on All Star Mile Day. And then fourth to Busting, who nothing wrong with that form, and he's won his last 2. So I think he can go on with it and make it 3 in a row. Sheriff Goma, Jimmy Orman on for Waller, barrier 8, just roll forward, be in the race for a long way.
Yeah, I think Felix the Scout, Santero probs wins again just because of the quality of the field. Red Kite, Unrelenting's an interesting runner for the Matt Daly yard. Ben Thompson on. He doesn't bring too many up here, so I've been on Red Kite the last 2 wins, so it's hard to jump off. But I'm concerned.
It's in your blood, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a little bit. I'm concerned at Unrelenting, Benny Thompson, just the booking and where it's coming from. I'm just kind of like, oh, maybe get another win under the belt. So and barrier 8 be leading. I mean, depending on how the track plays, but it's going to put itself right in the run. So yeah, it's hard to split those two.
What price was Cognac in race 2? Any idea? I can have a look here.
Still waiting for it to win from
Race 3.
last winter.
maybe.
Well, it's probably even the form now. Group 1.
650.
Group 1 Benny Thompson too. Don't forget
that's
that.
right,
But he's 1 win now behind Jimmy Orman
Yeah.
in the premiership.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely, and I'm sure the boys absolutely hate each other too, which makes it even better viewing for us punters from the sideline. Just those two going head to head.
Yeah.
It would be great if that was the case, wouldn't it?
I think they're best mates.
Probably are. How great would it be if they this is a close contest, obviously, in Queensland racing, it's all we've got, jockey premierships. Come out a little bit of yesteryear, Stone Cold, The Rock, just getting on the BRC TV before the start, throwing some shade, throwing some chat, interrupting Ben and Steph are at a nice restaurant for dinner, and you see Jimmy Orman storm in, flip tables, just cause the animosity, heat the rivalry up.
Fair to say Moz is a bit of a wrestling fan.
It would be good.
Who would you rather be on at this stage? So, what'd you say? Jimmy Orman's 1 win ahead.
Yep.
Benny Thompson 1 behind. Who would you rather be on?
You've got to be on Benny Thompson, I think, just because of the upside.
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 For jockeys, I like that.
Upside. I think
Well, he's got upside because he's on the climb. Whereas
But does he peak and Jimmy Orman's had that big run, sort of tapered out, and then
for his next run? I'm not saying he's good. He's not going
to bring it home.
You couldn't call him going poorly, but I'm just saying Benny Thompson's got this trajectory.
I think it's Benny Thompson's to lose purely because he can get down to what 52.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The weight.
And Jimmy
the weight
Orman's-
also helps.
Yeah.
So come even carnival time, he's going to be in line for those lightweighted Godolphin horses that come up. There's always
He'll get
a few good ones
rides
that
over the carnival.
he's they're the only 2 left because Tim Clark, Jay Mack, they've all got bookings. They're we need a Queensland jockey. Who we got?
Yep. The market agrees, boys. $1.85 Benny Thompson, $2.05 Jimmy Orman.
Oh.
Shout out to, speaking of Queenslanders, Emily Lang yesterday.
Yeah.
On
Emily
in
Lang goes
Strathalbyn. When's that on again? Is that on soon?
I think
I've
heard
every
it's-
Wednesday.
Jockey's
Every
Apprenticeship,
second
is it?
Wednesday.
I reckon it's here next Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, it
It's
is.
up at
Yeah, we
Brisbane
did say that.
next week.
Brisbane. Yeah, so
So-
she rode a couple of winners.
Back on the home turf, mate.
Two rides.
From 2 wins.
Yeah, bang, bang.
100%
Yeah,
strike rate. I think she'd probably be leading the ROI if she was.
Yeah, so I think that's how it works.
Yeah,
I'm
bang.
disagreeing. But I think Queensland lead.
Well, they'd have to.
Yesterday. No, but wasn't there one?
Yeah, there's one in Tassie.
There was one in Tassie on Sunday.
Yeah, with the yellow briefs.
Yeah, that's right. But we
And then the white
That's
briefs
right.
on it, I think.
And then we were trying to decide what brief was yellow.
yeah, we were at the pub actually betting on that particular race.
And
Fair to say,
let
we
me
didn't pick
tell you,
the-
it wasn't Western Australia.
No, I think that might be orange.
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
Kayla Crowther came out and rode another 2 or 3 wears yesterday. I was like, oh.
I don't think she's an apprentice.
No, that's not important. The importance is she was
Yes.
stealing my money on Sunday. I'm still not over it yet.
I reckon we've given 1 minute too much time to South Australian racing. So, move on. Let's kick off. Eagle Farm. Boys, not a lot of rain around, but still a little bit overcast. So, it might be a good one at Eagle Farm there. We go to race 5, which is the Chris Waller middle distance handicap, 2,200 metres, of course. Rail is out 1. BM 78 conditions, just to make the contest that much greater. Mighty Willie, for the big Willie, Chris Waller, is your representative. Been Warp Speed. This horse has brought you to superstardom with
Yeah, I
the
know
Beans
that.
Bazinga on a Wednesday. Or are you two just going to pretty much dumb everyone down for the next 30 seconds and make a case for contrition again?
No. The run actually wasn't that bad. But
Oh.
back to 2200, no chance. It's looking for 3000.
It's right. Actually,
Sydney
wasn't
Cup. Sydney Cup.
Yeah, I know. It was with Tappy's lad in Sydney.
that- Oh, I did see that. I was like,
Well,
oh, I was like,
speaking of big horses, Tip of the Spear comes up as your favourite, who is third behind Goldman, which goes around in the Group 1 as favourite.
In the
Australian
Roy-
Cup.
no,
No,
in the
sorry,
Roy Higgins.
you're right. Roy Higgins.
To win a spot in the Melbourne Cup.
Yes, so that's as good as form as he could probably make a case for with a race like this.
yeah, it's fair.
Welcome back then.
It is.
So,
I'm not with it though. I'm with Auspicious Cloud from John Thompson Yard. How often does John Thompson bring one to Brisbane? Very often? Not very often.
Not very often.
he's got six in race 4 and 5 in race 3.
He's country New South Wales, and he's a pretty good trainer too, actually, or Johnny
I think he's
Thompson.
based at Randwick, isn't he?
I thought he was.
Yeah.
Is he out of Randwick?
Sure
Is
it's
he?
Randwick.
No.
Yeah.
He always has him.
That's
he always has
country.
him running all. That's
That is.
country. That's somewhere in the country. He always has him running all over the shop.
Oh, he
I
travels,
I
yeah.
sort of back him when he travels because
Yeah.
he generally, if he takes him somewhere, he goes
Yeah.
alright. He used to have Rodney Northam used to be the superstar man for him. That was a good combo there. 1 for 1 at the trip. Maps will sit just off them. Benny Thompson on board. Barrow 4, I think, can be winning at $4.40 and 54 kilos on the back.
I agree. Bean, nice last start win at Kembla in, I think, what they called the Stayers Cup, I
Yep.
believe it was, on Kembla Grange Classic Day a couple of Fridays ago. Beat a couple of handy ones that day. It sort of over-raced and pulled its head off and was too strong late. I think Brock Ryan rode 4 or 5 winners that day, and that was one of them. So,
Yep.
yeah, no reason to jump off. Back to 2200, maybe a slight knock, if any, but no, win was good enough to stick.
I'm going to back Chocolatier in here, just because I don't really have much of a strong opinion of much else.
That's fine.
It's at its best when it can just run along and nothing can catch it. And the danger was the horse that ran second to it a couple of starts ago, Mighty Willie. But Chris Waller horses, they'll just go last and leave it too late. So at the odds,
The Mighty
I'll
Willie
be a
could just
shot.
flop out the back.
But you're right in
There's your
24.
headline, Ben Doris.
Oh, he loves the headline. 2400 back to the 2200. Might have been a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Just loves a good rock hard Eagle Farm track as well.
What are his overall stats like, Chris Waller, in Brisbane? Because like the way some of his horses map doesn't like the style of racing up here doesn't crazy suit them. Not that he goes poorly up here, but they are a lot to get back run on. You just can't do that at Doomben almost ever.
Sure.
And even Eagle Farm sometimes plays a little bit leaderish.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
No, should look into that
I
though.
could.
That's a good stat for next week, mate.
Yeah.
Next
bring
week's
that
show
in.
Next will
down.
be the master lock.
So if you're listening,
Lay Waller
well, we know
horses
it's
in
not
week.
the Master Lock formula
Mate, there's
this
no
week.
no
so-
master lock this week.
No
I'm
master
coming
lock,
up with
okay.
some new concepts in the background. My brain's ticking
Okay,
away.
all
I
right.
like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there's another hook. We got 2 hooks for the viewers, mate,
Yeah.
for next week,
Yep.
which is pretty good. But look, mate, it was Master Lock segment time, which just means we can skip along to race number 6,
Yep.
and it doesn't really get much easier here. Madame Odette goes around your $6 favourite for
Yeah, it's a good
TJ
race.
and AJ. Fun Sponge, Bean, I know you're a fan, you'll probably make a case for why it can or cannot win. Bafana's in there, Zhuangshai, Rations, geez, we had some fun back in that thing over the years. And Patton for the Bruce Yard there, mate. $16, Lloydie, for Patton, if you're a
Jordan
fan
Carpark.
this time around. Sure has.
Yes. Scared me that car park draw. No, I'm
We've
actually.
been in that car park, it is a scary
It is a
place.
scary place
Yeah.
Eagle Farm, especially like after the last on Stradbroke Day.
It's going to go under the tunnel.
That's
Then
right. It's a
find
long
the start
walk.
point.
Yeah.
The buggies are never there when you need
I
them.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
And then,
Yeah.
you
And when
know,
they are, Tom Henjack's usually in it.
yep, and you just want to get off that ride anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm pretty keen on one here, and we're talking about this battle for the top jock in Queensland between Benny Thompson and Jimmy Orman. It was 1 to Benny Thompson earlier in the day. It's going to be 1 to Jimmy Orman here. Sunfall for the Barry Lockwood stable. Formerly with Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. This horse. Both some pretty nice form earlier on in its career. Hasn't won out of turn. I think it's won 2 of its however many starts, but one of them was at Geelong and another one there at Flemington as a, I think it might have been, it just turned 3. It was like the first week of being 3. Beat Forgot You that day.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I backed it before.
Yeah. So nothing really wrong with that form. He's been going at Pakenham of late. He can get back and run on. But last start they actually rode him forward. So I hope to see a little bit of similar intent from Jimmy Orman here. Drawn nicely in at barrier 5. I just think he might be that upside, and Barry Lockwood's stable flying and running.
Yeah, if the money comes to, they generally like to back a horse
strike.
too.
That's right, that airstrike I put the money on. This is the same connections that bought the other one of theirs, Petronius, who was like 34s in 8 in its Queensland debut and won like a good thing. So big watch on the money, but I think Jimmy Orman booked is a fair sign that they're not there to muck around either.
Yeah, I would probably have to agree. Mozza, you were right. I'm with Fun Sponge. I'm pretty keen on one of the last actually that beat us by home last start. I think if it jumps and can cross them, I just think it's going to sit handy to the pace. There was nothing wrong with the form last start. The form around the one later on in race 9 is superior over the track and trip. I just think, if it can get across, then it's right in with its chance again here. Peak fitness, we got Justin Stanley on. Happy with that?
Juddy?
650? Still a bet.
Still a bet, mate.
Yep.
Still a bet. Just launching favourites here, boys. The old Golan AJ combo. Pretty handy first prep. Won the Toowoomba, the race up there. Was it the Geeeez maybe? That's the one. And then I remember it, didn't back it that day, but ended up pulling up lame in a race down in Sydney of a bit of stature with Sharp and Smart.
Yes.
Winning against Matcha Latte. So we're talking, Lloydie's talking Sharp and Smart's going to win every single race it goes to from here to when it's a 10-year-old.
Correct.
So I think
it'll win 3 Melbourne Cups.
So just, he will. Purely on potential through the eyes of the trainer to send it down to Sydney last prep.
You've got to think that.
Yes. And look, if you're going to, I guess what we're looking at, Winter Carnival, getting ratings up, he's going to have all his crew ready to fire first up to get the wins on the board.
Yeah, she probably has to be I'd have to say she'd be a Queensland Oaks prospect, wouldn't she?
You'd say so.
Like Churchill, she's had 4 starts, 2 wins. One of them was at the mile by about 4 lengths, so I can't say she won't stay.
Well, you wonder after that start in Sydney if that was the plan. I haven't looked too far in to kick on to would have been the Oaks down there at the time, but she obviously pulled up lame.
Yeah, it would have been a month until the VRC Oaks, so you probably could have if
maybe
she had
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting stories there, Monks. We could go on all day, but we don't have time for that. We've got time to find Group 1 winners, though.
We do.
How many Group 1s on Saturday this week, boys? 3. And it's probably that off week, so to speak.
If there is
the off
week,
week.
Call it an off week. It's an off week.
Is
that because we're not? Is that because we come back out and mow again?
Slip a day, pretty much. Slip a day high. Got this week, got a few Group 1s, righto. And then Championships starts next week, where we're looking at TJ Smith's, Queen Elizabeth's, plus many more. Not all on first day podcasters.
I quite like these races though, because it's not necessarily Australian racing strength, the sort of like 1.5 mile plus. So they're always, I mean, there's a couple of favourites in. I think I've backed one of them. But there's normally a little bit more value with them, and a few people a bit harder to sift through. Yeah,
a few people potted the Tancred, saying that it was one of the worst Tankreds we've had in a long time.
Is that because very elegant or something like that's not in it?
I'm not sure. I sort of like, who else do you expect to be there? But also, like,
who's the superstar play for age?
But also, you've got 2 Melbourne Cup winners there. You've got like 2 Sydney Cup winners. You've got Explosive Jack, who won three derbies. 3 derbies. You've got Stockman, who ran 2nd in this race last year. Montefilia has won she's won a flight. She's won a Metropolitan. She's won a Rand, but she's won 3 or 4 Group 1s. Like, what else do you want? Cleveland, who's been, I think you said it's been the Melbourne Cup favourite in all-in betting for a long time.
People just won't ever be happy, Lloydie. No. They just want to whinge.
I thought the fields were pretty good.
Stacked. And the big thing that you mentioned there, we'll go on a little bit of a discussion point before we hone on in. I haven't used that word for a while. We still own the trademark at the Mugs. Internationals here for the Sydney Carnival. Massive.
Yes.
But this is the first sort of year I can really recall that the Queen Elizabeth is going to have probably 5 or 6, if not more, internationals. You've got the Europeans, there's a couple of Japanese horses too that are coming out. And the message is pretty clear because they're coming here to race. There's no Spring Carnival vet hiccups that they have to go through. So, which is awesome because that's what we sort of want to see. I mean, like
you don't want to be putting your bets on that. Oh no, one's clipped its. I mean, not that you want horses to get injured, but the whole bet thing that occurs with the Melbourne Cup is just a pain.
It's a very long way to get told no, isn't it? But the form that's coming through with some of these horses, like Dubai Honor, isn't. You know, and those same whinges, mate. They're like, oh, it's 4th grade bloody European stays. It's top line European form that's coming out here. They're not a bunch of hacks. So if they're performing like they do, well, they're serious horses. But it's a pretty good measure for an Animo when they all get to meet in the grand final. So bloody how good.
Yeah,
it's pretty outstanding, I think.
Well, we've got the 2 in Sydney, the Vinery for the youngins, and then the Tancred over the 2400, and I think I saw Tancred's the only 2400 metre weight for age race, isn't it, on the calendar?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, well that's
The
interesting.
Aussie Cup is the disappointing race on the topic of the Group 1s. I don't think it was. I don't think it's an outstanding sort of. I think it's a bit like.
Yeah, but
that's
think
Melbourne
from
racing
next,
in general.
Yeah, and I think from next year we'll see a difference though because it's going to be 2 weeks after the All-Star Mile.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
From next year onwards, they've had to do a bit of a shuffle. So, you know, like
so you get the backup.
Exactly, and it's then also not the same day as the Tancred, so you can have Tancred horses back up if you want. You can have, you know, horses from the Rose Hill Guineas have 2 weeks into it as well. So like it's sort of there. Obviously, those Rose Hill Guineas horses probably aren't going to go to Melbourne for an Australian Cup when you've got either the Doncaster the same day or you've got the Queen Elizabeth the following week. So still probably a little bit awkwardly placed, but hopefully
you can tell by the horses that are lining up.
And you know, like I'm Thunderstruck pulled up with heat stress out of the All-Star Mile. He was going to be one to go there. You know, like there's
Bazaki didn't get there.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably would have gone.
There's a few, so
just a bit of a low year, mate. But Bean, you're the Kiwi man. Talk to us about prowess in the Vinery Stud Stakes. If you missed last start, Group 1 winner obviously from New Zealand against the older horses. It was absolutely eyeballed, and it kicked back and won. It was beaten. It was beaten. It was beaten.
It laid out the whole way.
I can't believe it wasn't up. The protest wasn't up there. The steward must have had black sunglasses on, just covering it. He had these sort of suns, so he obviously couldn't see anything because there's no way that would have been not upheld in Australia.
Well, if it runs straight here, how does it go?
I think it wins. To be honest, I think the form around it's pretty good. Like it was tough though. I mean, I know it's sort of laid out, but you do have to. It still has to hang around and put its head in front in the end of the race. Third run this prep over this trip is my only concern. It might just need that little bit further, perhaps. So I don't know whether that might play against it, but it's got barrier 4. It'll be forward from the gate. It'll sort of be, I would say, if it's not leading, it'll be the 1 out, 1 back sort of setup. Mark Zahra on board, that's a big tick. And Rose Hill, that sort of map run, I think suits the winners that I think we'll be seeing on the day. So yeah, I'm pretty keen, and its form over a good deck is simply superb too. So I know that's always a concern with the Kiwis, but don't let that worry. I reckon it can be winning.
I'm not going to let it worry me too. I'm going to jump on with you.
Yep.
I don't think it'll see which way Pavitra goes, in all honesty. The stable have already come in and said they're not going to the Oaks because they don't think she stays. I think she won that 2,000 metre Group 1 against the older horses last start simply because she had the 5 kilos off them at weight for age, and you saw what she did laying out under pressure. If that horse that's run second to her wasn't to the outside, she probably doesn't win because she runs all the way to the outside fence.
And she just high-fiving the punters.
Yeah, maybe, but
because she's the people's horse of New Zealand.
If Pavitra does what she did in that Kempler Classic last start, she'll just win. She was super, second up over 1,600 metres. She won by 4 lengths, and you know, maybe the quality wasn't really there, but outside of prowess, it's pretty much the same field that she meets again. She gets to 2,000 metres now. Plenty of ticks. I'm pretty keen on her.
Chad Schofield?
Yep, beautiful. Just as long as he stays in the saddle this time.
Yeah, could help.
Yep. Touchy subject. But
the Tancred, as well, we're moving on quick. Murmur is there's a bit of rain around in Sydney too. Gold Trip. This brings him right back into potential that Melbourne Cup winning form. Anyone with the champ in the Tancred?
No, I'm with a Melbourne Cup winner, but
Yeah.
And this is
Me too.
big to do with the rain. If there's no rain and we're on good four, soft 5 worse, Vow declares just, I think he's close to a good thing, in all honesty. Soft 6 or worse, forget I said anything and I'll tip your stockman. But yeah, look, Vow declares just flying this prep. He's come back, he's had 2 runs for 2 seconds, beaten by Right You Are both times. So rock solid in the market in the Australian Cup. This bloke, the big key to him now is that he gets to 2400 third up, which is going to suit. Barrier 15, Nashville, we are on great booking. We've seen him be a little bit more positive.
Who jumps off Sir Lucan, who I was half keen
Yeah.
on if he stuck, but he's shifted, so
Yeah.
that's a bit of a push. Because
Correct.
I think Sir Lucan was a chance in this race, but I'm
Yeah.
with Vow Declare off the back
Yeah.
of the change.
I'm pretty bullish that this horse is back. Like he went out a winner at the end of last prep in that Zipping Classic. It was Sandown Classic, and 2 really good runs. I think he'll be in the race for a long way.
Yeah, he's been home emissary in high motion. They ran second and third in the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah.
I know it's not 3200, but 2400, dry deck, Tancred Stakes, Barrier 15.
Yeah, wait for age. Like he's had to give the field weight in
Yes, please.
first 2 runs, so he gets to wait for age now.
I'm keen as. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Big time.
Beautiful.
Tell you what's better than Melbourne Cup form. European form,
Oh, here we
boys.
go.
I'll tell you what, they listen to me at the track, Lloydie,
They
because
do, money's
Cleveland
everywhere.
is
Yeah.
12 into 6.
Unbelievable.
Again, the O'Briens, mate, they know how to come out here and win. I just think there's something in those European internationals just putting in a massive one first up. Don't know how they do it. Probably we all know how they do it, but no one is brave enough to get the old little tube at the end of the race and piss in it. But I think this thing just wins. K-Mac is the concern. There's no J-Mac, but anyway. But look,
K-Mac or Josh Parr?
yeah, one of the two.
To be fair, he rode a few winners last. Was it 2 winners last Sunday?
it's
He came
not.
to a
No,
1.
was it? No, I don't know.
He definitely
Yeah.
rode 1.
It was, you go for a mark, not much of a...
But look, anyway, went around over a bloody 17,000 furlongs. It's last start there in Ireland, which is not what we're looking at. We're looking at the start before. Boasts a second behind a horse called Gear Up that you'll see a little bit earlier in the day, their mugs.
In the Neville Selwood.
In the Neville Selwood, which that horse Gear Up finished half a length behind another horse called Dubai Honour. And in a nice little handy race before they came out to Australia, those horses. And we see what that horse has done there. So the form all ties in if you have a bit of a look through some of these Europeans. I think the Sydney Cup's obviously it's going to be its go, but if it stamps itself here at weight for age, well, who knows what we could be in for this autumn carnival.
Yep. Fair enough too.
Look, I'm going to keep talking for a second here, boys, because the trial files are back on track.
Good.
Moz's try-hards.
Yep.
Trial hards. Got to get that right too. Now, look, I've been to Deegan this Tuesday. I don't think I've been able to do a segment here from Eagle Farm or Doomben when they've done trials.
No.
Are they not
I don't
running
know.
trials there though?
Apparently not, because it seems to rotate between Gold Coast Poly,
Yeah.
Sunny Coast Poly,
Deegan.
Deegan.
You can always get on and try and watch jump outs and try and figure out what horses.
You could, but we all end up
Just
backing the
throw-
wrong
just
ones
throw
all the
darts,
time.
yeah.
Mate, I don't think the jockeys or trainers know what those
Yeah,
horses
no.
are as well.
Yeah.
Now, look, I'm gonna stay away from times a little bit here because the times have only really been uploaded today. Let's be fair, it's not immediate up here in Racing Queensland. But we're going to heat 6, a horse called Purveyor for the Bevan Lambing Yard. And the good thing about identifying a horse like this is Big Bev doesn't really get $2 odds when he sends runners around. So I'm happy for that to happen. But anyway, this horse went around. Fogden had a couple in the run there. The winner of that, it's a 2-year-old too. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good, because that's where we're going to find him. We're going to look for a 2-year-old maiden when this horse goes around. But Fogden had a couple, bit of a pacemaker out the front,
Yep.
bit of one at the back. This Purveyor missed the kick, settled last, ran probably 3 wide the trip of the trial, saddled up to him without any sort of urgency at all from, I think, big bloody Damo Thornton was on board.
Yeah.
And pretty much cruised through with the first 2, sort of all crossed the line within half a length of each other. So Purveyor from the Bevan Lambing Yard, going to be looking for first up, hopefully in the next few weeks, for the 2-year-olds. 2-year-old cutest out at Ipswich or something like that.
That winner actually, that Coney Bay Island,
Coney Island Baby was the winner
It was
for that
actually,
heat.
I thought it was quite a nice win.
It was a nice win, but I
wasn't
just wanted
looking
the
at
eyes,
that,
mate.
yeah.
Jimmy just got to work on it a little bit more than probably what Damien Thornton had to do, and you're looking for the Fogdens to be pretty wound up first up because they want to get the win.
Yep.
That doesn't mean snip them off. It means send them off to start.
Yep.
Yeah.
That could be
Big dog.
misconstrued as well.
Yeah.
To be fair, don't do that again. Don't need a new.
Jeez,
in there.
we don't need to. We don't need to make bets of that.
No.
That aspect just yet. Back up to Eagle Farm, lads. 3 races to go there. 9 race card at Eagle Farm. Look, I think we'll be short and sharp here because it could get a little bit violent. We're looking at the Hilal Pitchers Partners handicap. 350 out to 450 already. I think there's some hurt bodies out there from 2 weeks ago. And what do we make of Hilal? Still a horse, still has its nads. It just didn't look like it was going to even figure to be in the finish. Had no letdown, had no juice, backed off the map that day. What do we get with him?
Be a nice horse for Darwin.
Right, that's what we're getting.
I'm with him
Put him
again.
in the
To be
All-Star
honest, I
lineup.
don't think the run was like. I don't think the run was like completely woeful. To be honest, it was out the back and battling. It only lost by 2.6 lengths or something like that. It wasn't like everyone's sort of potting the crap out of it. I cannot back for the life of me the Big Goodbye. I know it's actually not a bad horse, but I just can't have it. Like I just.
So it's not a bad horse, you can't have that, but you'll have a not a very good horse in Hilal.
Yeah, but I've seen the form around. It's not too bad. Jimmy Orman's on board. I'm with it again. I don't know. I'm happy to trust him to train.
2 kilos from last start and drawn just as bad. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Good luck to you, Elliot.
Yeah.
I do hope it
Good luck
wins
to you.
if you stick with it. And
Yeah, I just can't. I can't get off after one run. I backed, much worse horses and backed them up 3 weeks in a row. I've got to give it another chance.
Has it really been after one run though? Don't you remember Sydney?
Yeah, but I was always on at the $6 the place odds that were always there, that always hanging around. So
Yeah,
I'm
$4
not bitter about that. I'm okay with that. So yeah, I'm with it again.
This is a very interesting field, isn't it? There's a lot of horses that you just baffle at their form and why they haven't performed a lot better over the years. And I mean,
Like
Lloydie,
Ranch Hand.
Irish Songs is $17.
that's who I'm with, mate.
Snap that up.
Yeah, I just like you say, talking about we're talking about Hilal and horses that haven't done anything for a while. This horse has come up here, had 3 runs in Queensland for the new stable. First start, it didn't beat a runner home at the Sunshine Coast over 1,000, but that was always going to be too short. That was Simply Fly, Ubiquitous, who's come out and won. Stampy was there. And then the start after that, he flew home. He beat Ned Scully, who we've all got a bit of time for. He's flying.
He's still flying.
Yeah, and then narrowly beaten by Animate last start. He beat a horse called Cepheus, who went to Sydney and won a Group 2. That form surely looks all right for this, doesn't it? 13.50 at Doomben. This is his first go at Eagle Farm, but the dry track will be a key. A big straight's got to be to his liking. Back to 1,200 might be a negative, but horse is going well.
It's over the odds at $17 compared to Hilal at $4.50.
That's what I mean.
Even I can agree with that.
I'm getting the same price for this horse on top 3 as I am for Hilal to win. So yep, Irish Songs for me.
Well, I'm on the horse that knocked him off last start, mate. Animate's the same price. 15s you're getting for Animate. Kilo weight swing in Irish Songs' favour, but just has a bit more form on the board with Eagle Farm. 2 from 2, 3 from 2, 2 from 3, I got there, in the placings. Hasn't won here yet, but I think this horse hadn't won for quite a while as well, had he, before he won last start. So maybe that was just the confidence booster that we needed. But yeah, there's a few of them here that, geez.
You could maybe, I could have easily been with Legal Esprit again.
Yeah,
that's when I tipped
Ranch
last
Hands come back up to Queensland for a kill.
Yeah,
you could probably say.
Grey Worm's probably been in the best form his last prep and a little bit that he's been in a long time. Yeah, so that sort of race.
It'll be an interesting race.
It will,
happens.
yeah.
That sort of
Hilal
race.
will come out and win by 4.
We'll get beat by 4.
It'll be the bean show.
Beat by 4 lengths from the last horse in the field. I
Yeah.
think is where it could end up. It's gonna be one of 2 ways. It's,
Very easily.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right, well, the Bean Show might continue next week if Hilal gets up, but I want to ask you about Fast Coney, mate. A couple of starts. Last start, you and I, we made it our best of the day.
Yeah.
Was a bold run, just got too far back, probably on a fallen asleep jockey race. Barrier 3, 480, there's been some money for it.
I'm actually with $30 Baby here.
Give me nothing, you two.
For
Jeez.
the P&P Snowden yard. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be jumping off, to be fair. But and I just think Ben Thompson, like Peter and Paul Snowden, middle of the carnival down south, or that sort of a setup, and they bring $1 Billion Baby who's been flying down there up to Queensland.
Yep.
Ben Thompson, surely that's just like launch. Like it just has to be, doesn't it? Like just that's the only. I haven't even looked through the form. The form's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Form's been pretty good.
But like just those
good win last
those
start.
sort of ticks, you just have to back it. I think.
I remember there was a lot of hype on this girls a 2-year-old too. This seems like a bit of a let's have a look at Eagle Farm with a kind of run, doesn't it?
It does. I reckon if you went back through our chat and on Messenger you can search in conversation and search a keyword. If you put in billionaire babe, billion dollar baby.
Yeah.
If you put that in there, there'd be some sort of chat, and I'm sure
JJ Atkins.
it's JJ Atkins or Moz saying Tats Tiara or something. She is out of Strickhander, who's a Stradbroke winner.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if her swan song is on the 26th of June over 1400 at Eagle Farm in a Group 1. I'm sort of with her. There's an asterisk next to her now. I'm with her, but subject to change possibly. My only knock is she just doesn't string wins together. She comes out, she wins well in the midweek, goes to town, doesn't win again. So that's my knock. But in saying that, I haven't done enough form to really side with anything else. Astero's going well, but I think it might be, if it's not scratched already, it might be in Sydney in the midway or highway, the first. So already scratched.
Is already scratched, mate.
Yeah,
Well, you got Kips Bay, your favourite.
Yeah, well, that's probably
which is
the other one. Which, if you're at the pub that night at Magic Millions, you would have known that Kips Bay was the next Winx. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it hasn't gone too far off it.
No. Since it's been with Nathan Doyle, I think it's won 3 in a row.
Except for the 15 Group 1s, but we might get there. I've got to stick with Fast Coney one more time.
Yeah,
I just think pilot error last start.
Yeah.
Let him go a bit.
What-
Barrier 3 might not.
Is that the red kayak race?
No, Manhood and
Enterprise Palm.
Enterprise Pom, which we thought was the furious speed battle out in front.
Yeah,
Manhood jumped from barrier 45 and just decided to put up 13-second sectionals for the trip.
Yeah.
So it didn't really go to plan, but I think you'll get it right. Yeah, being that big watch on yours, I think, and maybe hanging around up here.
Yes.
Look, well, boys, we'll touch back down to the other Group 1, which is meant to be the main event, Australian Cup.
Yep.
We've got our famous Queensland hymn segment as well. Woody, I'm sure you'll find one
Sure.
for us as well. But we go down to Flemington, the big open straight, and I guess the horse that we've been talking about on Racing Twitter a fair bit. Virtuous Circle gets in. I'm sure a lot of all-in players would have
About $12.
smashed it. $26 you're getting.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. It must have just purely been hype because there's nothing that's popped up here. Maybe Cascadian on the backup was the maybe, but nothing has late nommed, late accepted to just give this horse a $26 quote. So,
Yeah.
did they miss the opportunity though, Lordy?
Oh, massively.
What's this?
Virtuous Circle. They were going to go to the Rose Hill Guineas last weekend.
Yeah, missed.
And they didn't go to a 7-horse Group 1 field. Instead, they've come to a capacity field against the older horses, drawn the car park. Now they're going to be, if they want, it's going to be a week back up into an Australian Derby. Madness.
These barriers must be wrong because I know it drew the car park, but it's the same barrier too.
I'm sure I drew the car park.
On our good friends on
Oh no, maybe not.
Green.
It's barrier 2 here too. I might just be thinking. I thought it. Maybe I'm
I
thinking.
thought it did. Maybe they did a redraw.
Maybe.
One of those. Oh, it's a computer glitch.
Maybe I was thinking in my head that barrier 2 is not a good barrier for it.
No, yeah, barrier 2 is not a good barrier. We preferred it to draw the car park.
Yeah, probably.
It's drawn a stinking gate because I've liked it, but that was the knock on it. Is barrier 2 is a terrible gate for it because all the speed comes across, it gets caught on the fence, back second, third last, and then it's got to weave through the field.
Yeah, there's 2 I like here. One of them's an old staple of mine, Numerian. I've been on his back plenty of times. He's going to be in for second on if I was tipping 4 horses, but so he'll go in for second, and I'm going to make him a bet. But for the sake of the Group 1 tip, it's a horse from the Mick Price and Michael Kent Jr. stable here. Damien Oliver goes on board by the name of He's a Shocker. We saw this horse come up here for a Queensland Derby a couple of years ago. He's had 3 goes at Flemington, over the 2000, I should say. One of them he failed to beat a runner home. That was in the Turnbull behind Smoke and Romans. And then he went and he ran third to Zaki and Mwanga in this, what's that race? The Champions Stakes.
Yep.
So that was track and distance, same conditions. I actually think he finished second past the post, and Mwanga might have had the protest upheld or something, I think, from memory.
Might be right.
Yeah. But he's like $26 or something like that. So if he can repeat that run, he's right in the finish. There's no Zaki here.
Yep, fair. It won't get a run, but if Campionessa does get a run, it wins this race by lengths. It was the horse that should have beaten Prowess last time if the stewards didn't have the piece of paper in front of them. Then it was 0.8 length off Sharp and Smart, who, as we've mentioned, Lloydie thinks will win every 2,000 metre plus race from here on out. So $23. I think, what does it need? Another 2 to come out before it gets a run?
Yeah.
Is it 16?
There's 16 start,
Yeah, so 2 more. Oh no, is it 1 more? One's come out, or was that down in the... No, Maricino's come out, so what's it need then? One more. One more to come out. Big watch if another comes out. If it doesn't, I'm with... not a crazy big fan of the horse. I've not backed in its last 18 wins in a row, but you can't really... We jumped all over Vow and Declare in the what is it, the Tancred in Sydney. And right, you was beating at home both starts. In those same starts, it's beaten High Motion and Emissary. I just think 2,000 metres, Ben Allen on board, barrier 8. It'll be handy in the run. I can't see how you can't have it at $7.50. I think it's overs. But it's a winner. It likes winning.
Yeah.
Just dick in your face almost, really.
Wait, just rate Group 1. I don't know. Yeah. I take your points.
All right. Well, I'm gonna break the internet here as well. He's never been one of mine, but I'm backing him in his final start. Mwanga.
It's his race.
We're talking about weight for age performers, not winners. Performers, but the Flemington 2,000 metres in a field like this is his best chance.
Yeah.
And looking like you're talking about a little bit of speed coming across. I don't think there's a lot of speed in this race at all. So I think he'll get a nice spot. I think Cascadian will just be too far back in this on my maps of Jindalee. But yeah, look, hasn't missed a place at the track and distance as well. Hasn't won also
for about 10 years.
He hasn't won for, he hasn't won in the last 12 months.
Has he won since his Rosehill Guineas? He won the Wink Stakes, didn't he?
We'll go back.
2022. 2021 Wink Stakes.
Ooh, yep.
August
2021.
Yeah. So
but his last crack here was a McKinnon, which was half a length off Zaki.
Well, that was that same race, the piece of shocker.
Yep.
Went across the line together.
You're right. They went across the line together. And just think, probably from that last prep, he sort of pieced it together to be
he's not running poorly.
He's not running poorly.
He's just like crossing the line first. That's
it. He's pretty much crossed the line last start behind Dubai Honour and Montefilia. If Montefilia's here, she's probably favourite.
But that's the thing. Look at his last... Let's go his last 5 starts. Dubai Honour's beaten him. Yeah. Animo, Zaki, and Animo. They're the horses that have beat him. There isn't a champion in this field.
No.
Yeah.
So this is his chance. If not, I'm jumping on the pain train with every single other Mwanga fan.
We've all had a go at it. Best of luck.
All out to go.
Yep.
Okay, back up to salvage everything here, boys. One more from Eagle Farm, the absolute get-out stakes. And there's one thing that we love in the last. It's TJ Goller. TJ Golan winner. Briar's Kingdom, $2.80 favourite. We're just quickly flicking through this field because there is no other Golan runner. Bean, I know you're a bit of a fan of this horse. Is it the get-out for the mugs there on Saturday?
Yep, 100%. I took the 390 as soon as I saw it. That was massive overs. Absolute launch job. It was pretty impressive last start. Beat Fun Sponge. If it comes out and wins earlier, well, this is just only going to shorten. Claim that Jones again. Was it carry an extra kilo, I think? Kilo and a half, maybe?
It's down to 56 with AJ.
Yeah, so it's I think carried 54 from memory last start. 3 from 4 track and 3 from 4 at the track. Then I think it's won twice over this track and distance and a second. it'll be in the first couple in the run. It wins again. Yeah, it's a really good bet. Best of the day.
Best of the day. Look out! Spoiler alert.
Yep.
Lloydie, the tail is long here in the BM 85 1400 metre to finish us off. Is it as simple as being made it sound?
No, probably, but
You just don't want to tip one because it's been, do you?
Pretty much, yeah. Got to be something in the number 16. 16 saddlecloth, 16 barrier.
Yeah, that was my concern. Saigon. I just was
Saigon.
like, it doesn't go that bad, does it? Like,
No,
it's
it doesn't. It got
thereabouts.
narrowly beaten by Frumos, who
Oh, forget it then.
Well,
was coined as a superstar. And then third behind Banju, Majorati, like that's not bad form, and then had a little bit of a freshen up. First up just the other day behind another one, Handle the Truth, Cavalier Charles in the national sprint there at Canberra. Any of those three here, they're all of them start favourite in this race. So look, probably a big tick in its favour is Karen McAvoy off, Damian Thornton on. He's
very
right.
fair point.
He's running well enough. Car park draw is sticky, but Saigon on top for me in the last at double figures for Waller.
Oh, it's that kind of race, is
Oh,
it?
it's so much that.
No, I'm with the favourite as well. Just seems to be well placed, I guess you
it
could
is.
say. Few honourable mentions, mate. You got bloody
Lord Michael.
Indispensable, which has not done anything since we backed it 2
Mm-hmm.
years ago after it looked like it was going to do something.
Yeah.
Lord Markle, Saigon was the other one.
Matawakaupi.
Matawakaupi. When I said the tail is long, it's
Yeah.
very, very, very long.
Blacklog's in it.
Blacklog's there.
Blacklog's even in there.
Face
Far out.
does. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
man.
shocker.
This is the Mugs 1400. The lead up run to the Mugs Mile
Yeah.
in 2 weeks with all of them going around together. Well, I think we got the Bazinga out of the way. Lloydie, it's your time to shine, mate. Queensland Hymn, the living, breathing,
Yep.
just compact all of the entertainment into a little lightning bottle.
Yep. You're on the Queensland hymn first, I suppose.
Whatever you would like to do.
Yeah, okay, let me just have a look at the fields for Cairns on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to go to Cairns. I was just lucky that I opened up a good horse. Race 5 at Cairns, the top weight courtesy bus. The three of us, we got a lift up in the courtesy bus from North the other day. So this has turned from Queensland hymn into Queensland Omen bets around the country. But Adrian Late goes on board for the Jared Wheelo horse. This bloke, but he's got pretty good form. Bold Hunter, Machini, Age of Innocence, who lowered the colours of Villa Coola last week at Rocky. So, so this horse was beaten 2 lengths from second to it. Nothing wrong with that form. He'll be hard to beat there in race 5. Best of the day for me in Brisbane, the one in race 4, Shah of Goma.
Oh, Sharp Goma.
Yep.
Well, mate, this is groundbreaking live Mugs vision because I'm taking you on in race 4.
Okay.
Fearless Night for me is the best on.
Yep.
Uh,
Carter form. As
So
good as
Carter
anything.
form. Well, and even on that, we didn't really talk too much, but the form probably is a lot better than it reads on paper because Dragon Song decided to take on Sir
Yeah.
Carter from the 1,000 and both of them friggin' cost themselves the race. So could stack up a bit better, hopefully for our sake as well. But yeah, race 4. Ooh, mate, I'm just getting in the peak gin bets here.
Yeah, well,
Finally.
we might have to.
I'm sick of buying my own drinks. I want Lloydie to buy some of them for me.
Did we want to throw out a little futures?
Yeah,
Are we going to do that?
Yeah, we are going to do that.
Yeah.
So we mentioned it last week, so we sort of have to do it, don't we?
We do,
But
yeah.
our great Brisbane racing sponsors, Ladbrokes, as they are known all around the globe, Stradbroke Market Open. So we thought we'd maybe just mention one that's sort of caught our eye at the moment. Only one. Lloydie, I know you got about 7,
I've got
but we
6.
do need to wrap this up. So maybe every week you can announce
Yeah.
one. And then come Stradbroke Day, hopefully you got 20 out of the 22 runners that are going around.
We've
So
got 30 out of the 14 runners, yeah.
yes,
That's
but
the plan, yeah.
as of this filming, I believe it's the only mob that have the markets up.
No,
so
they've actually, a few of the bet makers mobs do. So like
Oh,
your
okay.
Z bets and your text bets, I think they've just copied and pasted the markets, but
Yeah.
it's the exact same. Like there's no, you can't get $26 one place and $51 the other place. It's the same horses in the same price.
excellent. Well, tell us what we're backing. I think I might have the same as you, so I'll let you go.
Okay, well I'm going to go a little bit wider
Okay,
for the first of the Stradbroke picks. I just think there might be a little bit of value in this one. Okay, like your Opal Ridges, who she tops the betting, she's going to be mighty hard to beat in the race. But one at $26. Whether or not they get to that there or not, this is a pre-noms market, so if it doesn't nominate, you do get your money back. Horse by the name of Gundy Bridge for the Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott stable. This bloke won his last 2 starts midweeks in Sydney, but he was back from a sort of a long injury layoff. The horse is just a jet. Like, it was a 1300 metre win, I think maybe on a Friday afternoon at Canterbury or on the Kenzo, something like that. But he had his first trial back on Tuesday morning, went super. A little bit of sense of timing around for this bloke. He can sort of go through the grades, sneak in with a nice lightweight. You know, a Tim Clark or a Regan Bayless can ride him down on that 51, 52 kilos, and he'll be he's the sort of horse that can win a race like this.
Sneaky. Bing, have anything yet? Or you want me to?
I haven't had a crazy big look. What's the? Will they take? Is there possibly they take King Kappa there?
No.
Why not?
No. I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure it's all systems go for the summer carnival.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Reading between the lines.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Far away else?
Well, look, last couple of years, I've had a strong inkling that the best horses in this race are your best milers.
Mm-hmm.
And a horse that's done nothing wrong in a mile ran 3rd in the All-Star Mile, the Inevitable, which was actually sucks because I did think of that, and then it was announced on the radio that that's a potential target.
Yeah.
So any price that you might have got, he's gone, but $11 still for a horse that's proven over that trip I'm talking about.
If Mr. Brightside or Cascadian were in this market, that'd be $4, wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at strong milers. I think after the Doncaster in a couple of weeks too, you'll have a pretty good idea of what horses you could potentially look at coming up.
I'd love to see a Gentleman Roy come up. He'd be the perfect Stradbroke horse. That Kingsford Smith Cup into a Stradbroke would be ideal for a horse like him. But
And he just maps well as well, like the style of draws a gate.
yeah,
Yep.
I think he's in the market, but maybe
Yeah, he is.
$21.
Value everywhere.
Yep.
All right. No, that's right. Next week we'll have more.
Yeah.
And between us we'll have 74 of the 20.
Well, we could probably. I think they've
runs.
got Doomben Cup, Doomben 10,000 Stradbroke market. So
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
We just want to start piquing the interest.
That's right.
That's what they pay us the millions to do, the Brisbane
Correct.
Racing Club.
Yeah.
PS Brisbane Racing Club, the money hasn't hit yet. So
Yes.
Yep. That's
Also
on
right.
it. Thanks, Marks.
Cheers, mate.